I'm not feeling it.
1 in 2 households in Britain owns a pet, meaning half of the UK population own an animal that they consider part of their family. Unfortunately, some of these animals are being mistreated, and the number of them being taken to rescue centres continues to rise. The RSPCA have said that the Animal Welfare Act, which was implemented in 2007 in England and shortly after in Wales, has become the single most important piece of animal welfare legislation for nearly 100 years. The Act places a legal obligation to owners and keepers of animals to care for them properly. The most recent law to come into place is that all dogs in Wales must be microchipped by March 2015. This, however, is not the case for cats, who continue to be lawless beings. In South Wales, there are many who have dedicated their lives to treating and rehoming mistreated cats and dogs. Janet Brady and Nicola Ellis are part of Maesteg Animal Welfare Society. They work in catteries and tend to cats every day to ensure that they are either fit for rehoming or in the best possible state to enjoy the rest of their feline lives.
I've been doing this job for 30 years, not all in rescue because I had a boarding cattery before this, but I've been doing this for about 18 years. And then I introduced Nicola, got her on board because we were getting so many cats in.
I've been doing this for about 6 years with the rescue.
I just love cats so much, both of us do. I mean, the cats are alive, isn't they?
Yeah.
So last year I think we homed 157 plus 90 kittens. So we have a good turnover. We're always full, in which case if any cat goes out, there's always another cat waiting to come back in.
Julie Davis is a retired veterinary surgeon from Grosvenor. She ran her veterinary surgery for many years and has microchipped countless cats and dogs.
It is popular amongst owners who are more aware of problems that cats can get into. And particularly those who have their cats vaccinated. When they come into the veterinary surgery, then the vet will talk to them about microchipping and insurance and things. So the owners will tend to get it done then, more aware that that's available.
Would you say that you've microchipped more dogs than cats in your time as a pet?
Probably more dogs. I think people tend to have their dogs vaccinated more than cats. Again, it's an awareness thing. They're aware that dogs can get things like parvovirus and distemper, so they would come into the vets when the dogs were puppies to get them vaccinated and then have them microchipped as well at the same time. And I think dogs are more likely to run away or escape. And so people want to get some sort of identification on them, whereas cats tend to either stay at home or sort of near home. So I do think more dogs are microchipped than cats.
Rhys Williams, an office worker for a builder's merchant in Bridgend, is all too familiar with animals going missing, despite them being microchipped.
So we moved here in 2009, and about 3 months after we moved here, Fudge, one of our 2 cats, went missing. The first time he went missing, he kept going back to the old house. Luckily we were still in contact with the person who bought our old house, so we were communicating and found he was going back there. Did that once or twice, and then the third time he did it, he never came back. We could never find him. He's a lovely cat, really, really friendly. I imagine if he didn't like living where he live now, he would have sought refuge somewhere else, so that could have been another thing.
Rhys has always made sure that all of his animals were microchipped. One of his dogs, Ruby, was already chipped, having come from a rescue centre. All of his animals are registered with tracking company PetLog.
Once we did notify them with Fudge go missing. What they do is they liaise with all the other cat rescue centres to see if he gets handed in. So basically it takes the search off your hands, so to speak, especially for the wider areas, because cats can roam a lot further than you think.
There are currently no legislations for the council to inform owners when a cat is found, whether it is dead or alive. If a cat is found alive, it is handed to the nearest rescue centre or cattery, where they may or may not have a microchip scanner, meaning that not every owner will be reunited with their four-legged friend.
You know, I love my cats, especially love Fudgy as well, and I think it's sad that he was just treated as roadkill like a rabbit or wildlife, you know.
What would you like to see change in terms of microchipping?
I think that anytime they find a cat, to try and find the microchip to notify the owner, because it's a horrible thing never knowing what happened to him.
Nicola Ellis and Janet Brady are firm believers that the law should be changed.
Definitely compulsory microchipping would be for me, and especially when cats get knocked over as well. There'd be another one for me.
I picked up a cat last night. It wasn't microchipped, so what I've done, I've taken it to the local vet, and they're keeping it for a week just in case somebody does sort of ring in to find out if the cat's gone missing. And we put it on our local Facebook page. We've got a Facebook page for my Stick Animal Welfare, and I put it on the community one for our local village as well.
I think this is another issue we're finding. I found a lot in the last 2 years. People are not just ringing us about alive animals, they're ringing us about dead animals. So I have phone calls. I had a phone call a couple of weeks ago that there was a cat that had been knocked over across by my friend's home, and so I went over and scanned him. He was a full Tom, so I took him over to the vet then, which they obviously look after him then for 7 days, but he wasn't chipped or anything, so I had to put the description on him, and then eventually found the owner and they had closure. And then Jan picked one up yesterday, so we find there's a lot more. We've actually buried one in our garden by we took photographs of it, so it's documented now on my iPad. So if any ever did come forward, because there was no chip on that one, and nobody ever came forward, so I think at least it's a piece.
As a vet, we've had many cats brought in with strays or been injured, road accidents. It's a really horrible thing, that cats do tend to get knocked down a lot, and if they're microchipped, then you can find out who the owner is and reunite them.
Even though many kittens are bought from responsible pet owners, there is still a problem with them being given away for free without vaccinations and microchips. Some marketplaces also participate in the selling of kittens that are either too young or unvaccinated. Websites such as Gumtree and Pets for Home advertise free kittens where the owner has to state whether or not they have been vaccinated or microchipped. This isn't always the case, as many owners do not disclose this information, whether they have or have not had the animal microchipped.
I seen somebody on Facebook a couple of months ago selling kittens for £5 and thinking, God, you must be desperate. You know, and then people were having them, and then we'll get the phone call, especially Jan will get the phone call and to say, I had this kitten, but now it's ill, and can I have help for this and that, you know?
And I want it neutered, and this, that and the other, or they don't get it neutered.
Stop this damn free to a good home, because to me, nothing is free. You've still got to, for me, a responsible owner would still have to go on to microchip, neuter or castrate, vaccinations, feeding, worming, filleting. So that would be another big thing.
Them being sold in pet shops?
Yeah, definitely.
And free ads.
Oh, Gumtree.
Gumtree.
I know a lot of people hate Gumtree. Hate it.
Yeah.
You know? Microchipping, definitely. You know?
I can't think.
What is I'll get 100 people come through the door, and 99 of them will be absolutely wonderful, and then you've got the ones who bring them in or have done them are terrible, you know, and that's really sad.
Like
you know? I got fabulous, you know.
2 weeks ago, a gentleman found them tied in a box, thrown in a ditch. Two beautiful 1-year-old cats. They'd already been neutered because they took in the vet and they shaved them like this one shaved here. And they found the scar, so they'd already been neutered, so somebody had taken the time or effort to do that. And yet they were found in a box in a ditch.
And 2 of them just before Christmas, I think it was, put up in the Buck Mountain. In the wall. They were couched in the wall in the Buck Mountain.
And those are kittens and they, good young cats.
And I'm still nursing them because they've come down with like flu symptoms and stuff, so yeah. So they're
for some people, a cat is just as valuable as a dog. People see them as company. They're like little people. That's what I think of them as. So yeah, I think everybody should be reunited with their pet, whether it's a dog or a cat. They're just as important.